Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here because today we're going to dive into something that sounds incredibly complex, but honestly, it's essentially modern financial magic. We're looking directly at the mechanics of how net metering credits work. If you've ever wondered how people with solar panels actually make money, or at least totally stop paying their utility company, you're in the right place. Today, we've got the exact documents to show you precisely how the math works, credit by credit.
But first, I want to start by posing a bit of a mystery for you. How does the utility company send you an official, formal piece of mail demanding payment, but essentially charge you for absolutely 0 units of electricity? It sounds like a total paradox, right? If you're hooked up to the power grid, surely you owe something. Well, hold that thought because we're going to solve this puzzle step by step.
To figure this out, we aren't just going to talk theory, we're looking at real, hard data. What we have here is an actual document from July 2026. It's a demand-cum-disconnection notice from the Kerala State Electricity Board for a consumer named Nanda Kumar. Notice the formal language at the top? It sounds incredibly serious. It is literally an official notice warning of a demand for payment.
But here is the absolute climax of this document. Right up front, look smack in the middle of the page. Payable amount as on 2026-07-03, nil. Nil. Zero. Zilch. Despite getting this heavily worded official disconnection notice, Nanda Kumar owes absolutely nothing for his electricity usage. By the end of this explainer, you're going to understand the exact mathematical gymnastics that made this zero balance possible.
Okay, let's move to our first major concept to see how this builds. Section 1. Import versus export. Understanding the two-way energy flow. To figure out this zero balance, we have to completely shift our mindset from traditional energy consumption. We need to start thinking of the power grid as a two-way street.
And this brings us to the core mechanism driving all of this: net metering. Simply put, net metering is a billing mechanism that tracks and credits solar energy system owners for the excess electricity they export back to the grid. Instead of just being a consumer who blindly pulls power from the utility, you effectively become a generator. Your house is basically acting like a mini power plant.
And the best part is, the utility company knows this. Taking a closer look at Nanda Kumar's bill, they have a specific section detailing his meter information. It explicitly classifies his equipment as a net meter. The document also notes that he is a solar on-grid consumer, or generator really, with a plant capacity of 3 kilowatts. So the utility fully acknowledges his status has fundamentally changed.
So the crucial point here is how this net meter actually tracks the power. It doesn't just give one flat number. It meticulously records every drop of power flowing in both directions, broken down into import and export across different times of the day. For the normal zone, he imported 11 units from the grid, but he exported 268 units back. During off-peak and peak times, he imported 10 units each and exported 0. And this brilliantly illustrates the big picture. When we total up those numbers from the breakdown, the disparity is just massive. Over the month of July 2026, Nanda Kumar imported a total of just 31 kilowatt hours. That's the 11 plus 10 plus 10 from the different time zones. But his solar panels generated and exported a whopping 268 kilowatt hours back to the grid. His export completely dwarfs his import.
So what happens to all that extra energy? Does it just vanish into thin air? Absolutely not. This brings us to Section 2, Banking Your Solar Energy, the Energy Bank Account. We're transitioning to what the utility company literally refers to as a bank account for your power.
According to the Consumption Adjustment Report detailed on the bill, the utility company handles this using 3 very logical steps. Step 1, they calculate the excess energy for the month. That's just your total export minus your total import. Step 2, they take that excess and add it to your previous bank balance from the last month. And Step 3, they simply roll this new total over to the next month. It operates exactly like a rollover data plan on your cell phone or a savings account at a traditional bank.
Let's trace the actual math right from the bill to prove it. Looking at Nanda Kumar's bank statement for 2026-07, he started the month with an opening balance of 560 units, energy he had banked from previous months. We know his total imported units were 31 and his exported units were 268. If you take his 268 exported units and subtract the 31 he used, you get 237 units of pure excess energy. Add that 237 to his opening balance of 560, and boom, you get a closing balance of 797.
797 banked kilowatt hours. I really want to pause and just let that number sink in for a second. This isn't just a fun statistic.
This represents a massive stockpile of energy credits. If Nanda Kumar has a terribly cloudy month, or if his solar panels need some maintenance, he has a reserve of 797 units of energy sitting in the utility company's bank, ready to be drawn down at zero extra cost to him.
Okay, we've seen the energy flow, and we've seen the energy bank. Now let's look at Section 3, the final bottom line, when zero means everything. Let's translate this into the actual financial impact this net metering system has on the consumer's wallet and how it results in that magical zero balance we saw at the very beginning. To put those 797 banked units into perspective, consider his average monthly consumption. On an average month, Nanda Kumar consumes 50 normal units, 24 off-peak units, and 14 peak units. That's a total average consumption of 88 units per month. Remember, he has 797 banked. That means he has roughly 9 months' worth of electricity completely prepaid in the form of energy credits. It is incredibly efficient.
And because his export credits vastly outweighed his imports for the month, we see the ultimate victory clearly stated on his bill's bank statement section. Billed consumption, 0 kilowatt hours. The utility officially records his consumption for billing purposes as a complete and total zero.
Now, you might be thinking, what about taxes or connection fees? Well, if we look at the final bill details table, we see there actually is a fixed charge. Simply being connected to the grid costs him 85 rupees. It's a standard fee. But look closely at the adjustments. Due to previous advance payments or credits specifically marked as less paid ADJ negative 85.00, that fixed charge is completely wiped out. The net payable amount at the very bottom mathematically calculates to exactly 0.00. The code is officially cracked.
It's truly fascinating to see how policies like net metering transform a standard, often annoying household expense into a dynamic energy asset. By tracking energy in 2 directions, allowing consumers to bank their excess power, and offsetting monthly fees, the utility bill becomes a statement of savings rather than a demand for your cash. So I leave you with this thought to consider today. Take a look at your own average monthly power consumption. If your meter could suddenly spin backwards, how much energy could you be banking right now? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep questioning how the systems around you actually work.